Hello, I'm Nate Lyles with the American Safe Climbing Association, and today we're going to place a 5-piece bolt. Before you place this bolt, make sure that all of the components are present. You should have a dust cap, a cone, a sleeve, a compression ring, a small washer, and a large washer. It's important that you do not remove any of these components when using the 5-piece bolt. It's also important that you use the correct size hanger for the bolt you're using. This is a 1/2-inch hole on this hanger. This allows the hanger to travel freely over the compression ring when assembled with the bolt. To install your hanger on the bolt, carefully unscrew the stud from the cone, sleeve, compression ring, and small washer. Retain the large washer. Place your hanger on, and then carefully screw back into the cone, making sure you don't lose any of the components. You can just loosely snug it up. Once you've determined where your bolt will be located, and you've checked to the rock to make sure that it's solid, you can find a nice flat spot so that the hanger will sit flush when the bolt is placed. In this case, I've cleaned up a little bit of the crozzles here so that the hanger will sit flush. You also want to be sure that you're using the correct bit for the bolt that you're placing. In this case, it's a 1/2-inch bit for the 1/2-inch power bolt. You also want to be sure that when you drill slightly deeper than the length of the bolt, so you're sure that you will get complete embedment when you hammer it in. You can now start drilling. Make sure your bit is placed perpendicular to the rock so that the hanger will sit flat once it's placed. Once you have your hole drilled, you just want to clean it. You can use a blow plump or a blow tube, plus your brush. And you want to do this for several cycles till you get that hole nice and clean. Now that you've got your hole clean, you're ready to hammer your bolt in. Take the bolt and slack it off so there isn't a whole lot of tension where it's pulling the sleeve over the cone here. You'll have to hold it in place with one hand and then start by tapping it in. Once you get past the cone at the bottom, provide a little more slack to make sure that you're not fighting that sleeve expanding over the cone. If you notice it binding when you're hammering it in, check to make sure that you don't have a lot of tension there, because you might just be battling that sleeve as it's pulled slightly over the cone because you didn't allow this to slack off enough. It's very important to stop hammering when the bolt gets very close to the wall or just touches the wall. If you keep hammering, you can cause vibration damage to the back of the hole and potentially cause a spinner as you try and tighten it. So I'm very close to full embedment, but I can still move the hanger. I'm going to stop hammering, and then before I start tightening the bolt, I want to make sure that it's set up correctly for the direction of pull. And the easiest way to do this is just to clip a quick draw to it and pull it straight down. A common mistake is for folks to orient the hanger more vertically like this. When it comes under load, it'll just break free, damage the rock a little bit, and you'll lose some torque of your bolt to return to how it actually wants to sit. It's important that you follow manufacturer's torque specifications for these bolts and use a torque wrench. In this case, the current specification is 30 foot-pounds. Always refer to the manufacturer. Once you achieve the desired torque, stop, tap the head of the bolt firmly, and then re-torque the bolt. Repeating this process several times helps prevent the bolt from losing torque quickly. Once you can no longer take up any slack before you hit your torque value, your bolt is ready to go.